This is a review comparison of the Saramonic Smart Mic UC Mini and the BOYA Mini Omnidirectional microphone. Both of these are USB-C that you can plug into your phone. They're both mono and they're both omnidirectional. Omnidirectional means it'll pick up audio from all the way around, which is great if you're recording outside and you're wanting to get ambience along with your vocals. We're also going to listen to this homemade mic. This is stereo. That way you can hear the difference between what mono sounds like and stereo. On the testing that we're about to do, we're going to use a wind cover or a windscreen, or they call it a dead cat, on the mics. The mics do come with a foam filter, which is great for indoors, but outdoors, if there's any type of wind, you've got to have a dead cat on the microphone or you're going to get tons of wind noise. Now, you may be asking yourself, why would you want to get a USB-C microphone for your phone when you can just use the onboard microphone? And that comes back to the dead cat. On the phone, if you're outside, it's nearly impossible to stop the wind noise. You can't put a dead cat on the side of your phone. It's too hard the way that the microphones are placed. I did a video where you could take a hair roller and cut it in half and put it on each end of the phone to shield the microphones from wind, which does work, but you have to keep those hair rollers with you. It's kind of a pain. Some people put rubber bands around it. It'd be a lot easier just to plug this into your phone and have the dead cat on there. It's going to look a lot better. It's a lot easier to plug in and keep up with. With that introduction out of the way, let's get started. We're going to start with the Saramonic, then we'll do the BOYA, and then we'll test the homemade stereo mic. The first mic we're going to test is the Saramonic. And you can see the Saramonic, it can bend both forward and backwards, which is nice. Also, inside here it has like a rubber shock mount, so as you're moving it, it keeps a shock from vibrating into the microphone. Okay, here's the sound test with the Saramonic. We're going to walk around to see if we can hear some ambient. Right now, this is on a gimbal. I'm about 2 feet away from the microphone talking, but I'm going to be quiet, just walk around so you can hear the ambience of this, how much it picks up. Okay, that was the Saramonic outside test, and we're going to go and get the BOYA to test that next. Now we're going to test the BOYA. Now the BOYA, it can go one way, but it can't go the other. So you can see it just flips one way, which isn't bad, but the other one will flip both ways, and this doesn't have the shock dampener on it. Also, it's so big, we'll have to use the foam windscreen that came with it instead of the dead cat, because I don't have a dead cat this big. Here's the form factor. You can see how much bigger the BOYA is than the Saramonic. The Saramonic would be more the size of a small lavalier. Okay, now we're testing the BOYA. The phone and the microphone are on a gimbal. I'm about 2 feet away from the microphone, just like on the Saramonic test. That was the BOYA test, and the next test will be with a homemade microphone. Now for comparison, we're going to do the homemade microphone. This has two microphones, one at each end, so it's going to be in stereo. This also has dead cat and foam, so it may sound a little more muffled. This was made for recording outside in really windy conditions. Now we're testing the homemade mic. We'll see how good it sounds compared to the Saramonic and the BOYA. And remember, the BOYA and Saramonic are mono, and this is a stereo mic. I'd love to hear your comments on which mic you think is the best, or if you think there's other mics that would work better for a phone. This is a comparison with the onboard mic. This is a Google Pixel 6 Pro smartphone, and it records in stereo. So this will give you an idea of what it sounds like with the onboard mics. Okay, that was the onboard Google Pixel 6 Pro microphones. Also, after listening to the playback on these, to me, they all sound about the same. Also, on the mono, it actually sounds better to me. The stereo sounds like there's just too much information coming from the left and right channels into your ear. It just sounds more appeasing to the ear listening to the mono mics. And out of both mono mics, to me, they sound basically about the same. So I think it would come down to a form factor. So out of both of them, I'm going to go with the Shure because you can bend it both ways, and it has a shock absorber, and it has a smaller form factor for the head, so it'd be easier to buy windscreens. You can just buy anything for a lavalier. We're going to throw in one more on the test. This is made by CAD. It's called the PM100 USB mini mic. I did purchase one of these and tested it, and it didn't work. And I read on Amazon where they said other people were having issues with them just not working right out of the box. So this is the second one. We'll see if this one works. This one is static. It doesn't move back and forth. You just plug it in and that's it. Okay, the PM100 didn't work, so we're not going to get to test that one. They must have had some bad quality control. I've tested this in a bunch of different devices and it just will not work, just like the last one.